In the year 1280, in a West African kingdom called Mali, a baby boy was born. Nobody in that room knew it yet, but that crying infant would grow up to become the richest human being to ever walk this planet. Not the richest of his century, not the richest of Africa, the richest person in the entire recorded history of mankind. So rich that if you took every billionaire on today's Forbes list, every tech founder, every oil tycoon, every trillion-dollar fortune, and added all of their wealth together into one pile, it still wouldn't touch what this one king carried on a single journey across the desert. His name was Mansa Musa. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly how one king single-handedly caused an entire regional economy to collapse just by being too generous. You'll see how he built an empire the size of Western Europe, kept it running for decades without a single foreign invasion, and then watched it all unravel the moment he was gone. Stay till the end, because the way this story ends is almost as shocking as how it begins. Let's get into it. Mali, in West Africa, calls its rulers Mansa, meaning king or emperor. Some court histories claim Musa was of direct royal bloodline, the son of a previous king. Other accounts say something very different, that Musa wasn't of royal blood at all, but simply a deeply trusted minister serving under Mali's ninth ruler, King Abu Bakr II. Historians still argue about which version is true, but everyone agrees on what happened next. Around the year 1312, Abu Bakr became obsessed with a single idea, expanding his empire beyond the edge of the known world. Specifically, he wanted to know what lay on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean. So he did something no one had attempted before. He loaded up around 200 ships with soldiers, food, and supplies and sent them west across the ocean, hoping they'd find land and claim it from Mali. They never returned. Time passed. Weeks turned into months. Nothing came back. No ships, no soldiers, no word. Then, out of nowhere, a single battered vessel limped back to shore. Its crew was starving, exhausted, barely alive. When asked what happened, the captain had one answer. A violent ocean current had seized the entire fleet and dragged it away. And this was the only boat that managed to escape. Abu Bakr was devastated. But instead of giving up, he doubled down. He decided he would lead the next expedition himself. Before leaving, he handed Musa the full authority of a king to run the empire in his absence. Abu Bakr then sailed off with a massive fleet of 3,000 ships toward the Atlantic. He was never seen again. Years passed. Then decades. Eventually, everyone in Mali simply stopped expecting him to return. Mali was already a wealthy kingdom. But once Musa took complete control, the empire exploded into an entirely different league of power. The very first question Musa asked himself was simple. How do I dramatically increase this kingdom's revenue? In the 14th century, the answer came down to two resources the entire region couldn't live without: gold and salt. Musa began absorbing territories that held rich gold mines and salt deposits, the Bambouk gold fields, the salt mines of Tagaza. One by one, these regions came under Mali's control. Through these conquests, the Mali Empire grew to a staggering size, stretching from the Atlantic coast in the west all the way to the Niger River in the east. Religion played a massive role in Musa's success too. Islam was his faith, and a majority of Mali's population had adopted it. This gave him a strong, unified base. When a local leader named Bugu rebelled against Musa's Islamic rule, Musa's army crushed the uprising. But here's what made Musa different from most conquerors of his era. He didn't execute the rebels, nor did he force them to convert. He understood something crucial. If he wanted his empire to last, he needed different faiths to coexist peacefully. He never forced Islamic law onto everyone. Mali was an Islamic empire that granted
every community the freedom to practice their own beliefs.
Because Musa maintained religious tolerance, neighboring Islamic nations treated Mali as an ally. This saved Mali from constant border wars, allowing Musa to funnel massive amounts of resources straight into building the economy. Mali's wealth ran on three primary commodities: gold, salt, and cola nuts. Back in Musa's era, Mali was mining more gold than most of Europe combined. But Musa's personal fortune didn't come from owning the mines directly. They belonged to local communities. What made Musa unbelievably wealthy was that he taxed every single ounce of gold that left those mines. He was so protective of this system that he kept the exact locations of the gold mines a strict secret from the outside world. Foreign traders never saw where the gold came from. They only dealt with middlemen. The source stayed hidden, and the tax revenue kept flowing. Then came salt, essential in the Sahara for preserving food, making it almost as valuable as gold. And finally, cola nuts, a natural stimulant heavily used by desert travelers. Whatever people desperately needed, Musa taxed heavily.
Modern historians estimating his net worth usually arrive at the same conclusion. It is genuinely incalculable. Nothing demonstrates the sheer scale of Musa's wealth better than his pilgrimage to Mecca in 1324. As a devout Muslim, Musa was fulfilling the Hajj, but the way he did it was unlike anything the world had ever seen. He brought a caravan of roughly 60,000 people. 12,000 of them were enslaved laborers carrying heavy chests of gold. Pack animals followed, loaded with pure gold dust. Musa carried nearly 20,000 kilograms of gold specifically for charitable giving, or zakat. As his caravan moved through cities, he distributed gold to the poor at every single stop. Wherever his procession paused for Friday prayers, he built mosques on the spot. By the time he reached Cairo, Mecca, and Medina, he had given away a staggering fortune. Musa gave away so much gold so quickly that he flooded the market and crashed its value almost overnight. He triggered a massive wave of hyperinflation across the Middle East and North Africa. This remains the only known time in recorded history that a single person's charity single-handedly destabilized an entire regional economy. Despite everything Musa built, the Mali Empire didn't stay at its peak for long after his death. Once Musa passed away, future leaders allowed corruption to creep into the administration. One by one, conquered territories broke away and declared independence. Piece by piece, the empire that had once stretched across West Africa simply came apart. A skilled king, a content population, an overflowing treasury, and peaceful foreign relations — that was the formula that made Mali an empire of legendary wealth. But once the man holding that system together was gone, the empire wasn't strong enough to survive on its own. So what can we actually take from this story? A kingdom that thrived on peace instead of constant war, and a ruler who understood that tolerance was more profitable than conquest, and a fortune so massive that even giving it away broke an economy. What lesson from Mansa Musa's story do you think still applies today? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next story. Thanks for watching.